Today, I'm joined on Radio Jackie by JORDON Saeed, who is the first ever wrestling champion to represent Surbiton and Tolworth and first Yemeni wrestling champion in the whole of the UK. So, you're part of South London Wrestling. Can you tell us, first of all, how you got into wrestling?
I started wrestling training back in 2018. I was actually a police officer at the time. I watched wrestling growing up as a kid. And I just always wanted to give it a go, and then I just started doing Google search for training schools. Found one up in Essex, started training for a few months. I say a few months, it was a good 8 months. Then started debuting on academy shows, and then found my way into the London scene, and then found my way into South London Wrestling years down the line.
So you're their new champion after defeating the former British Cruiserweight champion at an event in Surbiton. What was this like for you?
It was a pretty surreal experience because as I was in the ring, I'm looking opposite me and I'm thinking, oh God, this isn't one of the best in the company. This isn't one of the best in the country. This is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I like to think that, clearly, I held more than my own to win the belt. So yeah, it was a pretty surreal experience. It was a good learning curve as well. Just being able to look at that match and go how much I've developed from, the return of wrestling last year in July to then, just seeing it, I was basically two different people. So yeah, it was a really amazing experience. And to have the 3 count and then hear my name and then see me winning the belt, that feeling is just something that I could never forget. It was a pretty wholesome feeling.
But I was going to ask you, how did that win make you feel?
It's probably, I'd have to say, probably the biggest achievement of my career, in terms of wrestling. Just to know, the caliber of opponent I had beaten, and also just the feeling of being the top dude in the company to have won that belt. Yeah, it was a pretty awesome moment.
And we all want to know, what did you do to celebrate afterwards?
Oh, just typical Wetherspoons, why not? Nothing fancy.
Wetherspoons is pretty fancy, I like that.
Yeah.
So you've got your title defence coming up on the 3rd of December. What does your preparation for this look like?
It's just training once or twice a week at wrestling schools, obviously hitting the gym. Yeah, just going into it as if it's any other match, basically, because you don't really want to you don't want to put too much pressure onto yourself with a title defence, because you start adding pressure to things, you start getting nervous, and then that's where things go wrong. So if you treat it as if it's just any other potential match, that's where you, in my opinion, you perform at your best. So I'm going into it just like I would any other match. So training hard in the gym, training hard in the school. Watching wrestling as well really helps. Watching my last match and watching my previous matches and seeing, okay, what have I done wrong, what have I done right, stuff like that. Just like any other sportsman will do, really.
Yes, you like to stay calm and not overthink it too much. Do you have any special rituals before, or lucky charms or something lucky underwear or anything like that?
I used to wear my West Ham socks, but for some reason I just found they just kept, I don't know what it was. Towards the end of wearing them, I just started not wrestling at my best, and I'm wearing these pink socks. I'm actually wearing them now. I now wear them every show I possibly can. Got several pairs, don't worry, I don't really use the same pair. On top of that, I don't really eat a lot before a match, because I just find if you eat more, you get very, very, I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, other people say it's totally different. And of course, a few cups of espresso beforehand does the trick.
Sounds good. So you got some lucky socks. We like that. So you mentioned before that you're the first British champion of Yemeni descent in the whole of British wrestling. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And how does it make you feel to represent Kingston, Surbiton and Tolworth as wrestling champion?
Oh, it's a great feeling, because I believe that there hasn't, currently in the South West London wrestling scene, there's not really a big promotion. So for SLW to be the pinnacle, for SLW to be, the number one promotion in South London and South West London, and obviously to be that guy who was the face of it, really does mean a lot.
For this event that's happening on the 3rd of December, can people come down and support you? And if so, where's it happening and how can they do that?
So it's happening in Longdearton Village Hall on December 3rd at 7 p.m. Tickets are at southlondonwrestling.com. And you can buy tickets on the door.
Sounds brilliant. And for anyone who's thinking about getting involved in wrestling, what would you say to them to encourage them to just go for it?
That's just the thing. You just have to go for it. Like, you can't do what I do and like mess around and be like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do it. No, I won't do it. You have to fully just go for it. Honestly, obviously, like, do your research on where you want to go in terms of like a training school. There's some really bad ones out there that will take your money. And just, take liberties with you. And there's some obviously really good ones that will just like show you the proper way and network you around, and you meet some really good people, and next thing you're doing some really good shows. So do your research, go for it, and understand what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, definitely go for it. And if you win on the 3rd of December, what is that celebration looking like? Is that back to Wetherspoons again?
Yeah, could be Wetherspoons. We'll see how the night goes. That's the thing. If you can't plan these things, either way it's gonna be a good celebration. So.
Absolutely. Sounds brilliant. For people who haven't watched a wrestling match before, what can they expect to see, apart from you, obviously?
You can expect to see hard-hitting, high-flying action, everyone getting involved. You get to see like something different. If you're used to going to like sporting events or like going to a wrestling event, it's totally different. Like, sometimes my mom will come to a show, and the first time she went, she was just like, oh my god, this is really cool. I just get to go and have a good time and do something different. So if you're not a fan of wrestling, it's something different. If you're a fan of wrestling, you're just going to love it. It's going to be like something that, if it was something you used to watch back in the day on TV, you're going to like probably get like a bit of a nostalgia pop. And if it's something where you're like a die-hard fan now, you're just still going to enjoy it. So like I said, like, no matter what end of the spectrum you're from, you're just going to come and have a good time. Like I said, just come down. South London Wrestling, 3rd of December. It's going to be a good card with some of the top names in the country. Some up-and-coming talent as well that you might have not seen before that you're going to get a chance to see. South London Wrestling is always a good show. It's, pretty much there's something for everyone on the show, even if you've not been to a wrestling show before. Just the spectacle of going to a show and seeing it for the first time live always makes people want to come back. So yeah, come down, absolutely, December 3rd, 7 p.m, Long Ditton Village Hall in Surbiton.